In this video, I would like to discuss final exam. This is very similar to the midterm exam. We have 10 questions, total 100 points. You can have multiple attempts, and before the deadline you submit, that is fine, right? So it means you can submit multiple times. You can work on today or tomorrow and anytime you want. And for the choice question, please answer directly in the Canvas. For algorithm-based text question, please write down your answer in the white paper neatly, take a picture of it, and submit it. As for the algorithm design-based question, shorter code would be fine. If time permits, please show all your work for each question, providing more details with necessary comments and explanation, which could help with assignment of partial credit. Now let's take a look at questions. We have a 5 choice question. It's the 5 choice question. In this 5 choice question, I would like to read with you. Given a directed cyclical graph GVE, G equal to VE, no path length is greater than V minus 1. So for this one, how can you think about that? We say if, think about let's write down here, right? Question 1. If, let's say we do not think about the graph. Let's say we have 10 number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's say we only have 7, right? So because there's not much space. If we link them one by one in this linear structure, then in that case, so if we have n node, so we have n minus 1 edges, right? Right? It's n, is 7 nodes, we have 6 edges connect one by one. If we add one more, then in that case, one more edge connecting any 2 nodes cause a cycle. Right? Can you see that? Any one, you see here, any 2 nodes, if you connect them, they make a cycle. So in that case, it is the path is a linear structure. Linear structure corresponding to each 2 nodes only have very unique relationship, right? Only 2 nodes have a unique relationship. And so, for the path, that is a sequence of vertex, right? Sequence of, over here. Sequence of vertices. VE, V2, VK, right? And that V1 is reachable to VK, right? So in this path is a sequence of vertices, and such that this is linear structure. This is in the graph, it consists of many of this linear structure. So this reason, this is we explained to you, right? Now let's take a look. Question 2. Question 2, what is the time complexity of the depth-first search algorithm of graph consisting of a number of vertices is n and the number of edges is theta n? And we see for this question, this question we want to check, do you still remember the depth-first search? Let's give a graph A, B, doesn't matter. It is undirected or directed, weighted or unweighted. And DFS corresponding to we wanted to let's use this one. We wanted to reach as far as can as possible, and we wanted to reach as earlier. We want to reach far as early as possible. Let's use different color. So for example, let's say S is the source load, right? We're starting from here. We're starting from here based on the adjacent list. A is connected with B, C. B is connected with A, D. C is connected with A, D, right? D is connected with AC. And for this DFS, we would like to remember the Karnaugh array, right? It's Karnaugh array. And corresponding to, this vertex has been accessed or not accessed, right? And also we have a pi to tell who is which parent, right? And also we use the Karnaugh, we also label each edges, right? So from A, go to check with B, we go to here, access the first adjacent edge. So access B, right? So it's number 1. And this is a forward edge. This is a forward edge. Let's use F. Forward edge, right? It's different type of edge. B corresponding to backward edge, back edge. And we use the C corresponding to cross edge, right? What else? Forward, back edge. What else? Tree edge. This one, I think, no, this is not a forward edge. This should be tree edge. The difference it is for all the edge corresponding to the vertex, which point to is ascendant, right? That's point to is descendant. That's a forward edge, and let's write it down here. So this is the point to forward edge. Point to is descendant, and this back edge point to is ascendance, right? Ascendance. And the cross edge corresponding to this point to some already visited vertex, which does know this descendant or ascendant relationship. This should be T, the tree edge. And for this B, they want to reach as far as it can, so they will go to here to access D. So it's the first step, go to the D. Once you go to the D, they will check, continue to check, right? Continue to check. So, so here we need to fill in each one. The A should be gray, and check B is gray, D is gray, right? And the parent here, A is the parent. This A is self-parent, and B and parent A, parent B is A, parent C we do not know, parent D is B, right? So when we waited here, we filled this array. At the same time, we label this. We label the type of edge. The type this edge belong to. And then follow the D. You want to reach as far as can, and such that they will go to access C, right? So this is still the tree edge. This is still tree edge. And in such case, this should be C. Once you finish C, take a look at C, right? And so C, since the C connect with A and D, both already have a Karnaugh. And this is the A is gray, D is gray, and such that C we cannot reach anymore. So once you go to C, you have to finish here. You finish here, you don't want to explore this line because this edge is what? This edge, it point to the ascendant. So this is the back edge. This is back edge, right? Can you see that? And also it tell you how to find the cycle, right? So when you use DFS to walk through all the vertices, you already label each edge. What is the type of this edge? Later, you just need to quickly find out this is belong to the cycle or not belong to the cycle, right? So in that once you have a back edge, definitely this is a cycle. This is a cycle. And also here, the C, the parent of C is D, and I'm sorry, I think I fell in the wrong place. This is D, right? C, the parent is D. And once you finish this C, and the color should be changed to be black color, then it will trace back. This corresponding to what is the procedure it will flow through the whole path, right? To walk through the path in this way. Finally, it will trace back. It's corresponding to trace back. Because you didn't finish, you need to check another, it is previous loads, and it's possible to through the previous loads to reach to us, to reach as far as you can, right? So you have to trace back. When you trace back, you check D. D has BC. Since B has color and C has color, and so both are finished, so you change this color. So you change this color G, and also change this color. Let's use another. Change this one to be B, right? Because it corresponding to, you finish this one. You finish D, and then you trace back. You continue to trace back. This is 1, 2, this is 3, this is 4, right? This is 5. You continue to trace back, check with B. B has A and D, both has color, both has been finished. And in that case, you need to change the color of this one to be B, right? Corresponding, you finish this one. And then follow forward, you need to have trace back to the previous load and go to the A, and check with A, you have B and C, both has color, and then you finish. In that case, you mark it and change the label to B. So in that case, you finish this DFS algorithm, and you can see in the end, every is black. Every load has labeled as the black, corresponding to you finish the access each vertex. So DFS is a depth first search. From the source node, you try to reach as far as you can. Trying to reach far as early as possible. And then you follow the adjacent edge and go to the new vertex, and until you meet the vertex, which has no way to go, then you trace back. You trace back to the previous vertex, then try to reach as far as you can. Follow the same procedure. And then after that, you trace back. This is a totally recursive procedure. So go back to this question. We see what is the time complexity of depth first algorithm. So we can see here in this depth first algorithm, since we have to follow the vertex, follow the edges. So definitely it will cover for number of the runtime is equal to V plus E. The number of V plus number of E, because you have to access all this vertex, right? Even you have a different array, but since we can ignore the coefficient. Now, since this one corresponding to same same n, right? This is n, this is n. So this is okay. So this is, you got the results, right? So now let's take a look. Question 3. In the question 3, find the shortest path between two vertices in non-negative weighted graph is a P problem, but finding a longest path in a non-negative weighted graph is an intractable problem. What corresponding to? So let's say first, let's use this one to represent. We still use this graph. If they have non-negative weight, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? In this case, if we want to find the shortest path, and it is okay, because when you look and when you follow the step, even if you go round and round, but the first this path are always the shortest one, right? But always the shortest one. So this is okay. But if you want to find the longest path, since you want to find the longest path, it's the path corresponding to, let's explain to you one more time. The path from, let's say, from U to V, right? From A, let's say from A to C. So this is one step path, and this is a two-step path from A to D, and then this is the, let's use different color to represent that. This is a one-step path, one-step path from A to C, right? And this is a, let's use different color. This is a three-step path from A to C, right? And such that we have A, B, D, C, but it have a three-step, right? But since it's corresponding to paths, right? It could have from A to, let's use another color, like this color, right? First, let's say this is the A, this is the C, and then let's say we could have from here to here to here and to here, right? Or let's say here. This corresponds to how many paths? This corresponding to 7. 7 step. 7 step path from A to C. So what we have? We have A, B, D, C, A, B, D, C. So this is what we have, right? And even you see, we can make it even simple. So that could have another path. We just see we go round and round and round, right? So since if you want to find the longest path, if you find the longest path, you can go around and round and round. So in that case, there's infinity, right? If the longest path, that is infinity. That is infinity options, right? Can you see that? Okay, I think this one we answered that, we explained that. Now let's take a look. Question 4. In the question 4, give a direct graph G and the particular edge E in it that would be a linear time algorithm to determine whether G has a cycle containing E or not. So we already explained that. We use DFS, which is a linear algorithm, right? So we can use that. Let's see question 5. In the question 5, in an undirected graph, the degree du of a vertex is the number of labels u has. Let's give an example. We still use the same example. So at the adjacent list, A is connected with B and C, and B is connected to A, D. C is connected with A, D. D is connected with B, C. And we see here in undirected graph, the degree du of vertex u, for example, dA is equal to number of labels we have, right? It's 2. And dB is equal to 2, dC equal to 2, dd also equal to 2 in this case. You count how many labels, right? So in that case, the du 2, 2, 2, right? Clear. And then, so why the reason it is, when you see the A, you count B and C. When you go to B, you also think about A, because this is undirected. Undirected corresponding to this both exist, right? So in such case, the sum of all the u, sum of the degree of all u is to what, right? Is to what? Because you double count. Okay. This is the question we want to answer. And then if it is a direct graph, let's use direct graph. We still use the same. Nodes is the same. The difference it is edges. We have direction. Right? We use this way. You could use another way, but it's fine. A, so we connect with B and C. B connect with and D, right? Corresponding to from B to well, from A to well, from C to well, from D, no place to go, right? So in that case, we didn't count all, we didn't double count. So then in this case, we consider what? We consider D in U. We also consider D out U, right? D in U corresponding to who enter in A. We see in this one, nobody enter in A. It's long, right? And out of this one is 2. You have 2 edges. From A, you can reach to another 2 nodes. And then you check B, what is D in of B? And D in of B is A go to the B. B, it is the second endpoint. So in this case is 1 and out is 1, right? Same. Take a look at C, it's the same. And take a look at D, you have 2 vertex in D. You have 2 vertex. You have 2 vertex in D, right? Same thing here. This is in edges. And the out edges is 0. And from here you can see if we consider D in and D out, and in that case you add them together, it's the same as what we talk about the total edges, right? So when we consider D in, D out, and this, this edge is the D out edge of A, but D in edge of the B. So when we sum up all D in U plus D out U for all the U. In this case, same as what we discussed, each edge you double count, right? This edge, let's write it down here. This edge is D in, This edge is the in edge of B. Out edge of A, right? One edge. So in that case, this one double count. Okay. Now let's take a look at another question. We finish this question. Let's check for question 6. In the question 6, take a look at this one. And this question a little bit tricky. In cases, although it's all this one we already learn. In cases where there are several different shortest passes between two nodes, and edges have varying lengths, the most convenient of these passes is often the one with fewest edges. This is to tell us how can we define the shortest path, right? Because shortest path corresponding to you want to find the reachable path from a source node to the destination node, and you want to make sure the total weight it is the smallest one, or some specific criteria satisfied in that path, right? Really depending on how do you want to define this criteria. In this case, they mention it is shortest number of edges in that path is the smallest one. You use that one as the shortest path. So this is different from the shortest path in the chapter 26. And here actually, if this is an indirect graph, definitely you can use BFS, the brightest first search. Let's continue to take a look. For instance, if nodes represent cities, edge lengths represent the cost of flying between cities. There might be many ways to get from city S to city T, which all have the same cost. The most convenient of these alternatives is the one which involves the fewest stopovers. Accordingly, for specific starting nodes S, define best destination U is the minimum number of edges near shortest path from S to U. So you need to find the minimum number of edges in your shortest path from S to U. In the example below, the best values for nodes S, A, B, C, D, E, F is S to A, just one step, S to B, one step, S to C, one step, S to D, two step, S to E, two step, S to F, also S to F, how many steps? So this is the 7, and this is the 6. So we need to consider, first we need to consider shortest path. Then we need to consider if the number of this shortest path is the same, you will use the shortest one, right? It's more complicated. Then you just use the number of edges. But you consider shortest path first, then you consider the number of edges. Give efficient algorithm for the following problem. Input given graph G equal to VE, positive edge length LE, starting nodes S belong to V, and the calculation. The output of this calculation is the values of the best U should be set for all the nodes, just like this one, right? Okay, for this question, how can we think about this question? And since we need to find the shortest path. We see in the undirected graph, In n-directed graph, we can use BFS, brightest first search. This we need to have. And BFS corresponding to, you starting from S, you list all this vertex, right? And you put them in the priority queue. And then after that, you continue to check. And let's use this one as example. So we see in the BFS, we also use corner to represent each vertex is the corner, right? We use corner. We use gray to represent is visiting. We use black to represent the finish, right? And in the beginning, that is white. So in the beginning, everything is corresponding to, let's write down A, B, this index, right? This index corresponding to it's also corresponding to the index. And in the beginning, everything is W, is white, right? And also we have the distance. And we also have a pi corresponding to parent, right? And here, when you visit this distance, we change a little bit. In the beginning, everything is infinity, right? And everything here is long. When you access, we have Q, right? And also we have a Q, priority Q. It's a priority queue. Battery heap, right? Did you remember? So let's use this to represent. Okay. So in the beginning, since we're starting from S, so distance, the corner, let's use that's another one. This corner has been changed to gray, right? Change to gray. And this distance starting from 0. And the parents is still, we said you use S itself as the parents, right? So you have S is in the queue. And then after that, for these steps, you have A, B, C, as you see, and you DQ, right? It's NQ and DQ, DQ, S, and in Q what? A, C, B, right? Because you have to follow, we have to treat all its children, all its adjacent vertex is BFS, corresponding to BFS, right? BFS, we brightest first search, and we treat all adjacent vertices of U equally, right? Equally. We treat them together. So brightest first search. So then in that case, you have this one is out of the queue. And you need to have A, C, B, and Q. And also in the A, C, B, in Q, this corner need to be changed. Or this one, the corner to be G, 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 right? We change the color. And the distance here, you can use change the distance, also need to change. The distance is based on the weight. But you have the weight here. And I would like to say the distance, we need to have two distance. The two distance, let's write it down. No. And you have two distance. This one, right? The reason is we need to consider the number of edges, right? So definitely we need to have two. These are two distance. So this one is changed to be, this distance, it is 2, 4, 2, right? This is 2, 4, 2. And this is 0, 1, 1, 1, right? This is corresponding to number of hops. The number of hops from S to U, right? And this one corresponding to the weight. The weights, right? The weights of pass. The pass weights. Okay, so this is different, right? Different. And we count for that because we need to make sure if they have another pass go to here, if you have to change that, then you need to make sure you choose the smallest one. And also your parents here need to specify us as what you have the shortest pass. Okay, we continue. So you have A, B, C already in the queue, and then you DQ, A, right? A is DQ. And since A is DQ, let's use different color to see we move out. A is move out, right? So we have S. S also is a move out. We use this one to represent the move out. And A is move out. A move out. Then you have a C. C should be in the queue. C is the only one, right? C is, so now, since we BFS, we see we need to check if this vertex is not being accessed, then you put in the queue. But if it's already in the queue, in that case, what do? You ignore that. But that is in the traditional BFS. In this case, we not ignore that. We just adapt that. When once you have the adjacent vertex C, you want to access C. What happened? Yeah. So you from this A, you access C. In that case, the distance between S to C, this path S to C is equal to 2 plus 2, right? And you check with the what you have, this distance. You check this is C for C. You check this distance. If you have the new path distance smaller than this one, then you need to change. But in this case, it's not, it's the same number, right? This path to here is number 4, it's the same as this one. So you don't want to change because this is one step. This is 2 step. Definitely you don't want to have 2 step and same cost, right? So you ignore that. Then this step you finish. And also once you finish, you make as the B, right? Change the corner. Now your DQ, this one, DQ. You DQ, this is DQ, C. And once you DQ C, take a look, go back to here. And then you have a new vertex, right? New adjacent node vertex, DFE. So you have a DFE in Q. Can you see? You in Q, DFE. And the same thing here, we need to change the corner. Change this to be G, G, G. And then, since you finish the C, in that case, you change the C to be B, right? And also the distance. Once you already finish, you change that. And the distance from S to D, you base on since you started from C, right? You get the distance from here plus 1. So you have, based on what you have this one, plus what you have the new edges, right? It's 1, 3, 1. So you have 5. What is this number? 3, 7, 5, right? This is a 2, based on this one, 2, 2, 2, right? The steps, number of steps, numbers of hops. And the parent here, I think we need to change this one. This should be S. S. This order should be S, right? And this one, you are not decided that. It's supposed to be C, but that's C. Okay, so when you and follow the same procedure, you DQ B, and once you DQ B, go back to here. Oh, sorry. Once you DQ B, then you check what is relation to this one, right? So then you have a new path from here to here. The number is 4. And in that case, it's the same, number of this one. You don't want to change. So the shortest path from S to C should be this step, right? This is the shortest path. So from S to A, S to B. And take a look at this one. And from the S to D, definitely through, since this number, once go to the C, this is the shortest path. It's the gateway from S to D. So in that case, this is from S to D, right? It's whole thing here, S to D. And the same thing here is whole thing here, S to D. Then we check for F. In this case, so this is one step, go to the F, you need to have a 7, go to 7, right? And then if you count for this path, they have 2 here, right? So it means 4 plus 2 equal to 6. This is 7, this is 6. So in that case, you would like to go through here to here, and this will be shortest path for F. So let's now continue to go back to here. So now you DQD. When you DQD, at the same time, you also change these numbers, right? And when you change, when you DQD, then in that case, it is you check for here, and then you from what you have this number, go to the D, 5 plus 1, then in that case, you want to change to be 6, right? And because it's shorter than this one, this change be the 3, and such that we see it's the same procedure as BFS, but we change the optimization function. So we see the shortest path from S to U is equal to minimum shortest path S to V plus U plus the weight Let's rewrite that. So let's make it shorter as shortest path, right? From S to, let's see, from S to V is equal to the distance, right? This is the arc mean of U, which have SP SU plus WUV. Corresponding to you have this is S, to this have a specific edge U, right? And you want to make sure this pass, the pass from here, through the pass from here is longer than what you have through the U, right? And then this, you find this U, which will make the good bridge, good gateway, right? This is good gateway vortex. The good gateway vortex. Find this one. And after you find this one, you use the lump of, is corresponding to, you find this one plus 1, right? Plus 1. You find this one and get the path length, number of hops, right? The hops plus 1. Number of hops plus 1, right? So you just need to change, you follow the same procedure. Every time when you check this vortex, you pick up from here. This is lump of hops, right? And this is the weight. Okay, I think we finished this step. So it means when you check, use the BFS, when you check the adjacent vortex, and you check this formula to update that weight, right? Okay, this is a question. Let's see, question 7. Yeah. The question 7 is very similar to one of our quiz question. And here we want to check the minimum spanning tree. This is the minimum spanning tree. And given the graph, it could have many spanning trees. Even if they have the same number, they could have multiple spanning tree. For example, I'll give you an example. And also you need to think about how can you find the number of spanning trees. So you can go to from here or here and spread out, right? And here, or you can go to the So for the spanning tree, we see here, we have two methods of spanning tree, prim or Kruskal, and both use the greedy algorithm. And this is the application of a greedy algorithm, the greedy strategy. Idea here it is, you want to grow your spanning tree. The minimum spanning tree corresponding to some condition, right? Find a tree, cover all the vertices, right? Find a tree, cover all the vertices, low cycle, and they're connected. Each two vertex that connect, they have paths go through that. And also the cost should be minimum cost, right? Also corresponding to minimum weight is the same. So they have different way since you want to grow grow the tree, right? Grow the tree through grow the minimum spanning tree, right? Through adding a good edge, the best edge, as you see, grow the way called good. In this case, that'll be better. You use the best edge. Is the one method, or through grow your minimum spanning tree through adding a best vertex. So these two methods, right? Prim method emphasize grow a tree, grow a minimum spanning tree through adding a best vertex. And Kruskal grow a minimum spanning tree through adding a best edge. It's two different methods. In this question, we ask you use the Kruskal method, right? Use Kruskal method, and such that sort the Kruskal method, sort all the edges iteratively, adding either a edge, sorting in ascending order, with smaller weight, and which addition, step 1, step 2, big step 2, which addition will not cause a cycle. Not cause a cycle here. You may fit in the, you just need to check two vertices of the new edge is already explored or not, right? We use color to represent that and such that it's very easy to check. So this is a Kruskal method. And also here, if I to check how many possible minimum spanning tree. First, you use this method to find a spanning tree, and then you can check if they have multiple same number of weights that could be replaced or not replaced, right? That also is the way you check that. And here I also want to help you to review Prim method. For the Prim method, randomly pick up a vertex and then check its adjacent vertices, pick up a smaller weight vertex which is not already discovered, right? You pick up that one, and then you increase in okay, and then in that case, in this one, since you need to pick up since you need to maintain adjacent list, so we need to use the priority queue. This one also need to use the priority queue. And save this what you have, and check this adjacent after pick up smaller one, and let's say maybe this will be better. It is add the adjacent vertices, right? In queue, and retrieval, and this procedure continue for v minus 1 times, right? So in that case, this will be very clear. Then because the minimum spanning tree, the largest number of edges, it is the v minus 1, right? So in that case, we finish this question. Let's go to the question 8. Question 8. Question 8 is kind of very, it's my favorite question. So the following algorithm seeks to compute the number of leaves in a binary tree and the leaf count. And then we give it a code. We want to find out this algorithm is correct or not correct. So this is, we check this question, very important question. We want to check recursion. And we see in this semester, we use recursion or not. Different technology, we use this recursion, we use that. The divide and conquer, decrease and conquer, dynamic programming, greedy algorithm, or we use recursion. So since we use recursion, we have to check that. In the recursion, we need to make sure, for example, is a function R invoke itself, right? Invoke itself. And invoke itself R is a function invoke itself. But we have to remember, this is we have to see it will not recursion forever. You have to stop somewhere. You have some simple things in baseline. Simple thing in that condition, and you do not need to go recursion forever. In some way, you have to stop this recursion. We have to remember we need to have baseline, right? So we need to have these two things, and we need to make sure it stop. So take a look at this one to see it well it stop, and does it include something to make it stop or no? Or you can see here this leaf count is left, leaf count is right. If t equal to long, return 0. And here there is number of leaves in binary tree. If t equal to long, return 0. and we want to check this is correct or not correct. Okay, so this is a question 8. Let's take a look at question 9. Question 9. In the question 9, explore graph is rather like navigating a maze. So we see that this give you application of the graph. Take a look at the above-mentioned maze through a corresponding undirected graph consisting of letter nodes and edges linked letter nodes. We say from L, have one edge, go to the K. From A, you have one edge, go to the B. And one edge, go to the C. And B have one edge, go to the F, right? And B have one edge, go to the E. E have one edge, go to the J, and then go to the I. Okay, so you could have more. So here, F can go to the C, C can go to the, okay. C can go to the F, C can go to the A can go, C can go to the A, no, already counted that. C can go to A, and A can go to D. And D can go to G. G can go to H, and H can. So I would like you to check that. Then I may ignore some edge. You need to make sure each two vertex, if they can reachable, you need to have one line here, right? And you may need to check a little more to make sure we do not miss something. Okay, and then so another thing it is this one. If entries is J, entries is J, J is entry. If J is entry, J is entry, right? And G is exit, G is exit. And we would like you find out, please give a linear random algorithm. Write is a shortcode to verify whether there is a path going from entry J through G. Can you find the path from here to here, right? This is the question. And we said here, this is a reachability question. So you can use the DFS, right, to work on that. Okay, so this is the question 9 and the question 10, almost there. And for question 10, the reverse of a direct graph, GVE, is another direct graph, GR equal to VER on the same vertex connection, but with all the edge reserved. That is ER equal to UV belong to E, right? VU. So let's see here. This one, we should have this. This will be perfect. Okay. Okay, let's take a look. So for this question, we say, give you a graph. Let's still use this one as example. Here we didn't mention it is the directed or undirected. It's a direct graph, right? It's talk about direct graph. We use this one. So we have a adjacent list. So we have a array. This is A, B, C, D. A is 0.2. B, point to C, right? And B is point to D, and C is point to D, and D point to nothing, right? Point to none. It's point to, let's, oh, I'm sorry. It's point to none, right? So we wanted to reverse that. We want to reverse that corresponding to, we need to have A, B go to here, C go to here, and D, this will talk about the reverse, right? We reverse the edges. So in that case, what is the algorithm you can do? And so since you want reverse corresponding to, so you check, go through this list and go to here. And if you find the still, since this is the still adjacent list, let's put them in the same paper, same page. So since you would like to also use adjacent list, you need to have A, B, C, D here, right? So when you visit B, so you want to reverse, we say B connect with A, and you have C connect with A, and you have B go to the D, it means D connect with B, right? And the C's go to the D, it means D also connect with C. And since D has nothing point to that, D has nothing point to that, so it means D should be the in this case will be root, right? And again, there's no out edge, right? So A, no out edge. So this is we see the procedure. You for every vertex in adjacent list, in every this one, you check get adjacent is U, right? You get adjacent for every let's write it down this way. For U in V, right? For U in V in the adjacent list, and for V belong to adjacent U, you add new edge link the loads in this element, right? So you add these new edges corresponding to you have before this is U to V, now it's V to U, right? Add these new edges, V to U, right? This corresponding to U to V, you add this one. And you can imagine this one, it is a linear at random, right? It's linear random because you just scan all the vertex here and also check all the edges. This is exactly the V plus E random. I think that is all. I think we cover all these questions. We give you explanation. This is online session, and I think most important is practice and understand practice. The question we give here, most of them are interview question. It's not an easy question, so I think it's good we explain here. Thank you for the whole semester. Thank you for your hard work. Thank you for your participation, and thank you for smiles, the voices, messaging, all the things. I appreciate that, and I will look forward to see you on campus.